What's up, YouTube? I'm Bormai, and I am absolutely stoked because close range meta is back, and that means SMG, baby. Yeah! And I absolutely love close range secondaries. So I thought I would do an SMG comparison video. And I mean, there are so many possible SMG choices right now. It's crazy.
Like, totes cray-cray?
And so many of these are viable meta contenders. I'm going to compare what I feel like are the top four. Now that's the Coldwar MP5, the Modern Warfare MP5, the LC10, the Mac10, and of course, I'm going to leave timestamps in the description below. So please feel free to skip around to whatever interests you. I'm aiming for 55 likes, and I do mean aiming. So please smash the hell out of that thumbs up button. And if you're new, watch a couple other of my videos. If you like what you see, I'd encourage you to go ahead and subscribe. I drop new videos every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's jump into this. First up, let's talk about the Coldwar MP5. This SMG has amazing, and I do mean mind-blowing damage. It is a little harder to use compared to, say, the other three guns we're going to talk about. And the reason for that is because the Coldwar MP5 does have a fair amount of vertical recoil. I mean, especially like the further you get from your target, the recoil gets a little worse. However, I do feel like you should be able to control it once you get used to it and you know the recoil pattern. It's a bad son of a bitch once you get used to it. It does have a rate of fire of 850 rounds per minute. You can aim down the sights in 200 milliseconds and go full sprint to fire in 150 milliseconds, and that's lightning fast. I mean, that's fucking fast, guys. Coldwar MP5 has a time to kill of 0.51 seconds, and that's at 10 meters. Now, at 30 meters, you do go up quite a bit to 0.83 seconds, but this SMG does pack one hell of a punch. I'm going to share this build a little bit later in the video, but I want to go ahead and keep talking about these guns. So next, let's talk about the Modern Warfare MP5. This SMG has practically no recoil, and it just lasers enemies at close range. I mean, you got a fire rate of 798 rounds per minute. You can be aiming down them sights in 296 milliseconds. You can go from sprint to fire in 217 milliseconds, and the time to kill for this MP5, it's slightly higher than the Coldwar version. It comes in at about 0.55 seconds. If you haven't tried this SMG, get to it. I'm going to show you this build shortly. The LC10, now, this gun has a much better range than both MP5. And it's really a great secondary to pair if you're running a sniper as your primary, and it has a solid fire rate, 798 rounds per minute. It ADSs in 192 milliseconds and sprint to fires in 150 milliseconds. At 10 meters, it's a 0.63 second time to kill, and at 30, it's 0.75. It gives this SMG quite a bit more range than both MP5s. Again, this build's also coming later up in this video. And finally, let's talk about that Mac10. Yeah, I know it got nerfed for the start of Season 3, but it really didn't affect the gun too much. All this gun has, like, that's way better than the others is the mobility. I mean, it is freaking outstanding. And if you like to rush, I mean, especially if you rush in alone, this is probably your SMG. It has an amazing, like, redonkulously amazing rate of fire of 1,118 rounds per minute. Meaning you're going to kill everything but that reload time, you know? And you can ADS in 167 milliseconds, sprint to fire in 238 milliseconds. The Mac10 is one of the deadliest SMGs in Warzone currently. At 10 meters, your TTK, or time to kill, is 0.6 seconds, and 0.82 seconds at 30 meters. It's kind of like the Bullfrog, which I did consider putting on this list. But to me, the Bullfrog, it just isn't consistent enough. But it's definitely a contender. And, I mean, I just don't think it's as good as the Mac10 or the LC10. I got the Mac10 build coming soon. So let's stack these SMGs on top of each other and compare. The Coldwar MP5 in pink has the fastest up-close time to kill, or TTK. But if you want more bite for your range, the LC10 in green and the Mac10 in orange can go the distance while slaying hostiles wicked fast. You know, wicked fast. For the Coldwar MP5, we're going to use the agency suppressor, and that's going to be for range and velocity. We're also going to want to have that suppressor so it suppresses the dot on the minimap. And of course, I like the Tiger Spotlight, the Raider stock for mobility, the Field Agent Grip to control the recoil, well, at least help control the vertical recoil, and the 50-round Stanig drum. Now, the loadout for the Modern Warfare MP5 is slightly different because you don't use a muzzle. In fact, you're going to use the barrel, which does have the monolithic integral suppressor on it. Okay, now obviously that's going to conceal your you from the minimap. We're also going to use the TAC laser, helps with a little bit with the hip firing. The F-TAC collapsible, that's my favorite stock on this gun. It gives you a lot more mobility. You're going to use that rubberized grip tape, help a little bit with the recoil, but there's really not much recoil on this gun at all. And the 45-round mag. The LC10, it does have better range than the other guns. Here's the build for that. We're going to throw on the agency suppressor, 13.9 task force barrel, the Raider stock, Field Agent grip, and a 45-round clip. Like I said earlier in the video, if you're running a sniper as your primary, this gun is really a great secondary if you're going to run an SMG instead of an assault rifle. All right, so for the Mac10, we're going to throw on that agency suppressor. Again, that's probably the suppressor you want to use with any of the Cold War guns. The barrel, we're going to use the 6.1 reinforced heavy. We're going to use that Raider stock, Field Agent grip, and of course, we're going to want to use that Salvo 53-round fast mag. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, go ahead and smash that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And consider subscribing. Until next time, I'm Bormai, signing out, wishing you happy gaming.